Hello everyone, how are you? Today is the second part of event-driven architecture. In this part, we will discuss about events streaming from DynamoDB to Kinesis DataStream and delivery to S3 bucket via Kinesis FireHose. In between, we will analyze the data with AWS Lambda. There are several use cases for this implementation. So one of them maybe suppose we need to deliver all the logs from all accounts to an S3 bucket, or we want to stream a message to a bucket, or we want to stream database values to be distributed to a bucket for further processing. Lambda in between is very helpful to process or modify some data according to use cases. We will do everything from scratch. So till the DynamoDB, we can insert the data in various way. You can watch the first part of the series and get an idea how we can do it in event-driven architecture. Also, you will get an idea what is an event-driven architecture. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe and like this video. Please leave your comment and suggestion. So let's go and start our event-driven architecture. Welcome back. So in this part 2 of event-driven architecture, we will do the following. So let's go ahead and check out what we will do. So first of all, we will assume that we have a DynamoDB table. So DynamoDB table is a serverless database from AWS, and we will assume that someone or some process will insert some data into DynamoDB table. So from our use case, we will do it manually by creating the items. Now, after the DynamoDB data has been inserted, what we will do? So we will stream the data. We will stream the DynamoDB data to Amazon Kinesis DataStream. After inserting the data into DynamoDB table, it processes it near real time and delivers the data into DataStream. We will also verify this with log and graphs and everything. Now, after that, this data stream cannot deliver the data to other services. So for that, we need another service which is called Kinesis Data FireHose. So this Kinesis Data FireHose delivers near real-time data from a source to destination. So we will use Kinesis Data FireHose to deliver this Kinesis data stream data to where? To an S3 bucket. So what eventually it does, so the entire architecture is that we will insert the data into DynamoDB that will be populated into Kinesis data stream, and eventually with Kinesis Data FireHose, it will be populated into S3 bucket for further processing. Now there is an interesting factor in between we will do. We will do what? We will analyze the Kinesis Data FireHose data with AWS Lambda. So there are various use cases for this. Suppose all the data that is coming from DynamoDB, we don't need all the data. We need a particular filtering for the data, or we need further processing with the data, or we need to implement one logic upon seeing the data. So for that, we need one Lambda in between, and that Lambda can process the data and deliver it via other means. So how the processing can be done, that also we will do with this Lambda in between in Data FireHose. The delivery of data will still be from the Data FireHose. We will not modify the data from the source to destination, but I will give you an idea that in between we can do it. With Lambda, we can definitely modify the data that is coming from DynamoDB table or anywhere else. So this is in a nutshell that we are going to do. This is a theory part. So let's go ahead and get our hands dirty and check out the entire architecture, or check out the entire event driven architecture from scratch. So I'm inside my management console, and if you see the tabs here, I have opened up in a particular series. So the first tab, we will create the DynamoDB table, and after that this tab holds the data stream, and this tab holds the FireHose. In between, we will analyze the data with Lambda function, and then eventually the data will go to S3 bucket. So let's create one by one. So first of all, let's create the DynamoDB table. As per our architecture, we need DynamoDB table first. So let's create the source of the data. I will create the DynamoDB table naming as source table, and maybe a partition key or primary key is ID, and that's it. Maybe a owner tag and our channel, and then create the table. So as per the first part, the DynamoDB table is created. Now let's create the Kinesis data stream. So we are here, the table is still being created. While it is created, we will create the data stream. So let's create the data stream. So let's give it a name as Kinesis data stream, DS. We will again select the on-demand one, and we will not modify anything else, and we will create the data stream. So if you don't know about, if you are still wondering about on-demand and provisioned difference, please see the first part of event-driven architecture where I have explained what is on-demand and what is provision. So I have created now the data stream. Now let's create the FireHose. So I will go to the FireHose and create a delivery stream, and source I will select as Amazon Kinesis data stream, and the destination I will select Amazon S3. Now here is this catch is we have to select the S3. We have to create the S3 bucket first, then we can select it because we have to give the target destination. So let's create the S3 first, and then we will create this FireHose. So I'm in the S3 management console, and let's create a bucket, and the bucket name may be destination bucket, and then nothing is required, and I will create the bucket. Now my bucket is created. Now let's go back to FireHose and check out the settings. Then now here is the delivery stream console. We have to, it will first show you how it will work. So this will ingest the data, transform if it is required. So this one we will do, but it is not required, it is optional. And then it will load the data into S3, OpenSearch, Redshift, or anywhere else. So this is how it gives an overall architecture, how it works. And then it shows what is the source. So for FireHose, as per our architecture, for FireHose, the source is data stream. So that's why we have selected data stream, and the destination is S3. So we have selected Amazon S3. Now the source settings, that means our data stream setting. In data stream setting, we have to select which data stream, from which data stream it will receive the data. We will select Kinesis data stream, the one that we have created, and select choose. And then the delivery stream name, I am not really bothered about what it gives the name, but in real life, real production environment, give it a proper name. I will leave it out as the auto-generated one. Now, this is the very important part where transform and convert records. Currently, we will not select this one because we will go ahead and see the entire architecture first, entire architecture or the data delivery. Then we will see what we can transform with Lambda. So right now we will do nothing here. And then on the destination settings, we have to select the S3 bucket. So we will browse and maybe refresh one more time. Yes, our bucket is here. We will choose this one. And dynamic partitioning not enabled. So dynamic partitioning is something like if you have a partition key in your data, you can partition according to the data you want. So right now we will not do any kind of partitioning, and we will choose not enabled. And then we don't want to give any prefix or any output prefix, nothing is there. So this is how we create the FireHose. So we have to give one source, we have to give one destination, we have to give if we want to transform the data with Lambda or not. If everything is done, we will create the delivery stream. Now, if you see, we have linked data FireHose with data stream and S3. That means if any data is in data stream, it will now stream with FireHose into S3 bucket. Then the missing part or the missing link is from DynamoDB to Kinesis data stream, because that missing link is still there. We have not attached DynamoDB to data stream. So for that, what we need to do, We need to go to DynamoDB table. Let's see if it is created. I think table is created. We go to DynamoDB again and we go to tables and we go inside our table. And here you see exports and streams. And in this exports and streams, we see that exports to S3 directly, or we can select Kinesis datastream details. Currently, the status is off. That means it is not attached to anything. So we will turn it on and we will select the data stream that it needs to deliver. Whenever we will do the linkage, then the whole link up is there. That means we are selecting that whenever there is any data to DynamoDB, it will stream it to Kinesis data stream. This is what we are saying. And we have already linked up Kinesis data stream with FireHose as a source and S3 as a destination. So our entire architecture is complete. So if this is done, then I will select turn on stream. And this will basically take some time to reflect it here. So we will wait now. So we see now the status is on. That means the streaming is on. That is fine. And it is showing where is the destination stream. And this is my Kinesis data stream that we have created. That's all. This is fine. So my architecture is ready. Now to view it properly, what I will do, I will open up the monitoring part here, the graphs in a separate tab. So let me open that one. What I have done is in the Kinesis data stream, that is here in the Kinesis data stream, this part is that incoming data sum count. So I have opened this one in a CloudWatch stream. So if you click on this icon here to maximize, and under that you have this view in matrix. So if you click on this one, you will get here. And right now I don't need the incoming records limit. So what I will do, I will deselect this one, and then on the y-axis, this is fine. I will give the y-axis in the right hand side, and for the period, maybe 5 minutes is okay and 10 seconds is okay. And for 1 hour, I want to view the data, or this is fine. This 5 minutes is okay. This is fine. And for Kinesis data FireHose, similarly, this one, the records read from Kinesis data stream. This one you can open also in the view in matrix. So I have already done that, and this is the one where it shows the sum count. That is coming from data stream. I will also select the y-axis here, and for 10 seconds and period of 5 minutes is fine for me. Or what we can do is, okay, 5 minutes is fine for me. So after 5 minutes it will go here, reflect. Okay, no problem. Now everything is ready. Now my DynamoDB table is ready. Kinesis data stream is ready to receive data, ready to show me the data. FireHose ready to stream the data, ready to show me the streaming data. And S3 bucket is there, ready to host the data. What we will do, we will go ahead and explore table items. Currently, there is nothing. What we will do, we will create some item. Now, if we create some item here in the DynamoDB table, it will first stream to data stream, then data FireHose, then it will eventually go to S3 bucket. So let's create the item. So for first item, I will select 01. For second item, I will select 02. For third item, I will select 03. For fourth item, I will select 04. That's fine. Now, as soon as I create the record, it should stream the data into data stream. So let's wait for some time, and it will show up here in the matrix. Then maybe we can resume this. Now, after waiting for a couple of minutes, or I have selected the period as 1 minute here in the data stream, I can see that 4 records came in. Incoming records 4. You see here, incoming records 4. In the data stream, 4 records has been came. Now on the FireHose section as well, we can see here in this time, the incoming record stream in the FireHose, it read 1 record and then it read 3 record. That means 4 record already came in the FireHose as well. I have also reduced the period from 5 minutes to 1 minute. So this is fine. The whole 4 records from DynamoDB table has been came up now to our data stream and eventually to Firehose. Now let's see if the data has been delivered to S3 or not. So I'm inside this bucket and I still see that the data is not delivered till now in the bucket. So anyway, AWS claims that it's near real time, but it's not at all near real time. Anyway, we have to wait for some time here for this delivery of this data. It's also very less data. I think only four IDs are there, so it should have been delivered till now if it is real time. Anyway, what I wanted to show you here in the Firehose section, there is a option we can select that the destination error logs details. That means if the destination delivery have any error, we can view that in the log. What we can do is we can view this, or we can open this one in CloudWatch log metrics and check out if there is any error while delivering the data into our S3 bucket. So we see that the log matrix has been created, the log group created, and there is a backup delivery and destination delivery. We are interested in destination delivery logs. And while we open this one, we see that there are still no logs has been generated. So this is the reason, that means there is no error. I was thinking that there might be some error. So there is no error. So the data should come in the, okay, now it came in. I just refreshed and it came in. So the data is coming in a date delivery format. So this is year, this is month, and this is date, that is today's date, and then it will deliver it within time. So that means if it is a 17-hour or 17-hour time clock or 17-hour window, then it will deliver all the data with the 17 slash folder. So if it is 6 o'clock, then it will deliver 18 slash folder if it is evening time. So I can see in 17 it delivered already two set of data. So let's wait for some time and let's see when it comes actually. Okay, so I think that's all the delivery has been done. It will not anymore, it will not create any more file. So basically this two file holds all the data. Now we have seen that the entire architecture is complete. We have inserted data into DynamoDB. It went to Kinesis DataStream, then Data Firehose, and eventually delivered it to our S3 bucket combinedly. Now what we will do, we will spin up one Lambda in between. So the Lambda, what it will do, it will eventually analyze the data inside the Data Firehose, Kinesis Data Firehose, and it will show up what the data is actually. It will show up the payload of the data. If we go back to here in our console, we will go to Lambda first, and then we will create one Lambda. And when we will create the Lambda, so AWS provides already to use one blueprint of the Lambda, which will analyze the data of Kinesis Data Firehose. So there is already one blueprint available for Python, which we will use, and then we will link up that particular Lambda to our Data Firehose. So in our Lambda, we will use a blueprint, and from that blueprint, we will search here with Firehose. At the last, you see here that process records sent to a Kinesis FireHose stream. And if you read the description, I will not mouse over here. So if you read the description, an Amazon Kinesis FireHose stream process that access the records in the input and returns them with the processing status. Use this processor for any customized transformation logic. That means it process the Kinesis Firehose streaming data, and if it required, we can transform the data as per our need. We will not transform the data, but I will show you can do it, and Lambda is capable enough to get the Kinesis Firehose streaming data. So I will select this one, and I will select I will give a function name, maybe transform Kinesis, and it's selected already Python 3.8, and I will leave AWS to create the new role because it will give the permission by himself, and this is the function code that it will get generated, and then I will create the function. Now my function is created. The first thing what we need to do, we need to go to configuration and edit the timeout of the Lambda function. So 3 seconds is the given one that it already gives me, but 3 second it will actually Kinesis FireHose, whenever we will attach this Lambda to FireHose, it will complain that the Lambda has a 3 second timeout. Please increase that. So not to do that, what we will do, we will give 3 minutes of timeout to this Lambda, less as possible. I think 3 minutes is enough for processing the data, and we will save it. After this is done, we will go to the code of that particular Lambda function and we will see what it does. So if we see the code here, so the first, it is importing base 64. Why? Because base 64 is needed to decode the data that is coming from Kinesis FireHose. We will see that in action. So first it is printing that loading Lambda function or loading function, and then the Lambda handler itself, it is creating one empty array or empty list. And then for the record in event records, that means for the inside the Kinesis FireHose, whatever how much records will be there, it will come into the events. And for each and every records, the for loop will eventually done. And for each for loop, it will get the record with the record ID. So the record ID here, it will also, this is a dictionary format. So this one will come as per the record ID and it will print it here. And then it will generate the payload by what? By decoding the record data. So this is where we need the base 64. So base 64 have a function called b64 decode. It will decode the Kinesis FireHose data with UTF-8 format. And this is the raw payload. If we print this one, we will see our data. What we will do, we will really print this one. So here we will give it as a print statement. And then we will print the data. So this is our payload, and for payload we will print the payload here, and we will see eventually whatever data we insert into DynamoDB table, it will show up here. And then output record it is creating, it is also then encoding the data again. But this one, it is encoding the data and it is output, it is actually appending the data to output, and then successfully process record here and then return the record. So we are not doing anything here. We are not transforming the data. So whatever data it is coming up, we are eventually decoding it, printing it, again encode it, and then returning the data successfully here. That's all we are doing. Then deploy it. We will deploy this Lambda function. Now my Lambda function is ready to show me what data are there or what data is coming from DynamoDB. What again missing link is that we need to link this Lambda function to data FireHose. So we go to Kinesis FireHose again, and then here in the configuration section we come down, and here under transform and convert records we will edit this one, and then we will select the checkbox with AWS Lambda. So enable data transformation, and we have to give one Lambda function. What Lambda function? So we will browse this one and we will select transform Kinesis, the one that we have created, and we will choose this one, and the buffer size is fine, interval is also fine, and then we will save the changes. As soon as we change this, save the changes, my delivery stream or the FireHose delivery stream is now linked with the Lambda function. We will see in action. So here is the timeout. It says that it has a 3-minute timeout. It has Python runtime. The Lambda version is latest. Buffer size 1 minute. This is all fine. So we have used the blueprint Lambda function. Now again we will do the same thing. What we will do, we will insert couple of data into DynamoDB, and we will see it that the actual data is coming to data FireHose and Lambda is printing out the data. Let's go ahead and insert couple of data. So we will give 05, 06, 07, 08. So again, we have inserted 4 set of data. So till 1, 2, 3, 4, it was already there. We have inserted 5, 6, 7, 8. So this 5, 6, 7, 8 should put the data into S3 bucket, as well as the Lambda should process the data and print it out. Now let's go to our Kinesis data stream here in the CloudWatch matrix and wait for some time for the data to show up, because until and unless it does not show up in the data stream, it will not go to FireHose. So let's wait for some time. Okay, eventually I see the data has been came to data FireHose here, data stream here. So here is the first incoming record, 1, and then 3 more records came in. So the total records came in is 4. So here is 1 at 523, and here again 524 came in, another 3 records. Fine. Now after that, we will verify if in FireHose the data came up or not. So we see here the 3 records came in at this time, and again 1 record came in after this time. So 24, 23, 3 records came in, and then 24, 1 records came in. That is fine. So my 4 records already came in to my data stream and to data FireHose. That means if the data is came into data FireHose, the Lambda should trigger. So we go to Lambda and we see the monitoring here, and under logs, we see if any logs generated here or not. We give a timeout of 10 seconds or refresh rate of 10 seconds, but we see that logs yet not generated. I think log has been generated, but it's not showing up in the Lambda console here. What we can go ahead to the CloudWatch console. So as soon as I open the CloudWatch console, if the Lambda is run, the log group should exist. So let's see. So I see the log group is exist, transform kinesis, and I see the log group. This one is the first log group that came in here. And if I open up this, I see that here every log came in. Oh, suddenly my CD came in. I don't know what happened. They are very sensitive here in this Apple laptop, MacBook. Anyway, so if you see here, this is the actual data. This is the actual data where we have inserted 05. So this is one data, the actual data, it shows 05. It came from source table, and it is insert happened. The insert operation happened, or the event name is insert, and the event source is DynamoDB, and the data is 5. So this is one of the data. And then the next data, I hope this one is randomized. It is 7. Then let's see what is the data. This is the one, or this is the 7 one, and this is the one where 8. So 6 we need. We have inserted 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have found 5, 7, 8, and I hope the next one or the last one is 6. Yes, this is the 6. So we have seen that this is the particular data, or the whole lot of data has been came in, and Lambda actually have seen the data and view it in the Lambda console or in Lambda logs. We have seen that. We can anyway from every use cases, or from use cases to use cases, what we can do, we can transform our data with this Lambda, and we can return whatever transformation we need, whatever filter we need, and we return the data. So as we did not do any transformation, the data returned as it is came in. So if everything is fine, there is no transformation done, then the data should go to S3 bucket. So we go to our destination bucket, and again we refresh this one. So currently is 2. Let's see if it increased or not. Yeah, so we have seen another 2 set of data came in. One is 28 and 29. This is the time zone that currently I am in. And 2 sets of more file has been generated, and this 2 files holds the data of 5, 6, 7, 8, the one that we have inserted. So this is fine, and this is the whole infrastructure that is ready to be in production. And this is the event driven architecture, where we have created one event in DynamoDB. Eventually it went to data stream, and from data stream it went to data FireHose, and from there We have seen the data with Lambda. We can transform it even. We did not do that, but we have given the data as it is to our S3 bucket. And now our S3 bucket holds the data from our DynamoDB event source. So this is how Kinesis works. It has a source, it has a destination, and from source, it streams the data into the destination. Various use cases are uses for this streaming purpose. Now at the end, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe, like, share, comment your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section how do you feel about this video and what do you know more about in cloud or AWS. I will be back with another exciting video. Till then, goodbye, take care, bye bye.